money market. Okay, so first we need to recognize that we have one symbol. So this is oftentimes you'll have to draw this one. I think it's useful to have this side by side with the secondary graph, which is our graph for investment, right? Just to show the line of logic, which we're going to talk about as we move through this. Okay, so here we go. So our money market is going to have a y to the sky axis called NIR, or nominal interest, not real interest rates. Those are reserved for the loanable funds market, just nominal interest rates. Down here is going to be the quantity of money. No, if you just put quantity, it's going to be wrong. Make sure you have quantity of money, because that's the quantity for particular. Our investment curve is also going to be nominal. And down here is going to be QUIG, or the quantity of investment. We're going to put these side by side just to show how a change in monetary policy affects investment, which then, of course, affects demand, and GDP, and price level, and all that good stuff. So first thing you need to know about the money market is that we have the demand for money, which is this downward sloping curve. The demand for money is actually made up of two things. Made up of the demand for money as an asset. It's just holding on to cash like in your pillowcase, below your mattress, because it's more valuable than bonds or any other investments. Because interest rates go up, the demand as an asset actually goes down, because I'd rather have investments, rather have bonds. The opportunity cost rises. So that's why we have this downward sloping curve here. And then it's also made up for the demand for money transactions, right? And that goes up if nominal GDP rises. More people are using it. Best demand of money, just remember that. It's going to help you answer too, which is a nice thing. The supply of money is always vertical. And the reason that money is because the supply of money is controlled by the Federal Reserve. They decide how much money goes into our economy at any given time. So we're going to call this Q. Now, at our equilibrium, where these two intersect, is going to be my initial interest. Now, when the Federal Reserve acts, they're not trying to increase my money, manipulate. You might even hear this in the news, where they say, hey, the Fed is going to raise interest rates by X percent. And that's what's going on. So if I want to expand my economy, I'm trying to do something that will cause investment, which will cause agriculture, GDP, price level. So I do this by shifting the supply of money to the right. Now I can shift the supply of money to the right. One, I can buy bonds or buy Bitcoin. When I buy bonds, I inject the economy with new bonds, or with new money, and I take bonds out of the market. So money is now in the economy. Two, I can lower the reserve ratio, which means that banks have more money out, make more, or create more money as a result. And then three, I can lower the federal funds rate, which is the rate I charge banks to borrow from the Fed. So they're more likely to lend and create money if they know that the Fed will be able to bail them out for a pretty cheap price. Now, regardless of how they do it, let's say this shifts to the right. So we're going to call this SM2. Normally it's through the buying of bonds, operations. We're going to have a new interest rate here, and we'll call this Q2. We dash over, and we see that our interest rates have. Now, inevitably, they're going to ask you to say how this is going to affect aggregate. So in order to do that, I got to go over to my aggregate demand or my investment. Sorry. I need to show the demand for investment, or DIG, D-I-G, and how it changes. When my interest rate was high initially, my first point is going to be here, and there's a very low amount of investments that are demanded. But when interest rates fall, notice more investments are going to be attractive because they're cheaper to take out loans for. And so investments are going to rise. When investments go up, your aggregate demand, right? GDP up, price level is going to go up, and it closes our gap. Now, you might have bonus questions because whenever you deal with interest rates, they're going to ask questions about bond prices, right? So remember the first relationship between bond prices and interest rates. Interest rates down, so bond prices up. They might ask you about foreign exchange, right? When this interest rate goes down, how does this affect the supply of the dollar? The answer is we're going to supply more of them because our bonds are not very attractive. Interest rates are low, so we're going to supply more. And then they might ask how that affects depreciation. Just know interest rate is tied to a lot of things. Sure, you know how to analyze those interest rates. You should be appreciated. All right, that's the end of money market expansionary policy.